Good boy. Good boy. Now that Davis has mastered the first stage of obedience in the Canine Good Citizen program, leash manners and verbal command response, we're going to move into the next stage of training, focus and silent command response, also known as advanced obedience. During this stage, we stop using the voice commands that we used back in stage 1 in order to get Davis to respond for us. We are only going to be using the hand signals. As a reminder of those hand signals, it's palms up for sit, palms over your dog's head for down, palms towards us, calling our dogs towards us for come, and palms away, pushing our dog away for stay. Remember when working with your dog to follow those 4 key principles of leadership: calm, patience, assertiveness, and consistency. Be aware of not allowing yourself to become frustrated or anxious. If you do become frustrated while working with your dog, stop what you're doing, take a break, recompose yourself, then come back out and try again. We ask that you practice with your dog for a minimum of 15 minutes each day. More time if you can, but 15 minutes at a minimum. Make sure you take your time, don't rush through your commands, don't try to bounce ahead. And most importantly, have fun with your dog. A lot of our customers ask us, why do we bother going to the trouble of teaching our dog hand signals? They respond so well to voice commands. What's the big deal with the hand signals? Well, yes, our dogs do respond very well with voice commands, but that's only a part of it. In a real-world environment, especially when you're outside with your dog's going to be distracted by all the different elements in his environment. By switching over to hand signals, your dog can no longer be intimidated by all those different distractions. He has to turn his focus over to us in order to properly respond to commands. We can't eliminate all those distractions as much as we'd like to, but we can make them as irrelevant as possible. So we're holding our leash properly. We've got our gentle leader collar on and ready to be used, and we're ready to start off. We're going to tap our side and start walking. Good boy. We're still going to talk to our dog. We want to keep our dog engaged on us. As I mentioned before, if we didn't talk to our dog, he's going to eventually get bored. He's going to start drifting off. He's going to start sniffing around. We don't want that to happen. We want to keep our dog focused on us. Slide my hand down the leash, pull up, automatic sit. We don't need to use a hand signal at this point because the sit is pretty much automatic when we come to a stop. We're going to put the leash in our left hand, holding it tight. Give the hand signal, 1 step, turn and face him. We're going to put some slack in the leash. We don't want him anticipating our command and doing it ahead of us. We want him to do it when we tell him to do it. So with that slack in the leash, no. This is to build focus. This is where calm, patience, assertiveness, and consistency, the 4 keys, all play a role here. Now. Good boy. We're going to take a step to the side. Get the focus on us. He's looking up here. Take that step towards him. Good boy. Back to full length of the leash. Wait a few seconds. We got excellent focus. Good boy. Good boy. Put the leash back in our right hand, holding it short. Tap our left side. Final heel is completed. Praise and affection is rewarded. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. We're going to move into another exercise. Now we want to build up your dog's focus. A lot of dogs get real anxious when people walk behind them. They want to get up and they have to be facing which direction we want them in. We want to teach your dog to stay in one spot when we command him to. So we're going to command him to stay. I'm going to go back about halfway back from the leash. I'm going to walk around him. Good boy. I'm going to praise him for a proper response. If he got up and moved around, I would have resituated him back to where we started, and I would have started all over again. Good boy. Stay. Now I'm going to go back to full, no. Stay. No. We want him to sit. I'm going to go back to full length of the leash. No. He wants to go down. We don't want him to go down. Going back to full length of the leash. Going to walk around him. Good boy. Just throwing out the hand signal from time to time. Good boy. No. We don't want him chewing on the leash. Good boy. No. No. Good boy. We're going to praise him for a proper response. Now we're going to step it up one step further now by dropping the leash. Good boy. Good boy. Want to get the focus on us? No. Going to go back further. Davis, come. Come on. Good boy, Davis. Good boy. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. Anytime your dog comes to you and you're in an off-leash position, you always want to make a big deal about it. Now, if you're out playing with your dog and you're ready to go back in, and your dog decides, I'm not ready to go in yet, and he starts going into this cat and mouse game with you, making you chase after him, you never want to get frustrated at him and yell at him for not coming in when you tell him. If you do, you're only going to make it more difficult the next time you take it out. You just want to be patient about it. When you're finally able to wrangle him in, whether it's in 5 minutes or it takes you an hour to get him back, you just want to let him know how happy you are that he came back and how much that you love him. Good boy. Good boy. Good boy. We want to give your dog every reason to want to be with us and never a reason to want to run away with us. So the more we do this with our dog, the less he's going to want to run off from us. And the more he's going to listen to us and come to us when we call him. Good boy. Good boy. So we're going to go through the commands one more time. Good boy. Good boy. You're doing a good job, Davis. Good boy. Slide my hand down the leash, pull up, automatic sit. Now you may notice that we're doing all of the same commands in the same series, in the same sequence that we always do it in. All the way down. Good boy. This is to develop consistency with your dog. Consistency is what? One of the 4 keys of leadership. Once you get your dog home and you get that consistency with him, that he's going to respond to you all the time at home, you can start switching up and giving your dog those commands in any shape or form that you want to give them to him. And he's going to respond to you, no matter how you give him. Good boy. Now, we've built up the consistency that your dog's going to respond to us using voice commands. We've built up the consistency now that we know our dog will respond to us using hand signals. Now, if we decide we want to take that jump into off-leash work, now is the time we can start doing that. Off-leash training, you want to have a few principles in mind. It's not about just taking your dog off leash and say, let's try to do some work. It doesn't work that easy. We're going to build up to that, but you don't want to do that at first. You want to be able to control your environment at first. You want to be in a closed area. Maybe a room like this, a garage if it's big enough, a cellar if it's big enough, a fenced-in yard. If you take him to the park, go to a tennis court that's fenced off, a basketball court, a skateboard park that's just fenced off, someplace where you can control his movements. If you go out into an open field and say, let's start doing some off-leash training, you might be tracing your dog more than you're getting any training done. So you want to be able to have an area that you can control that. We want to keep the leash on your dog to start. And we're going to start walking your dog like we would normally. Good boy, good boy. Once we get that consistency and we know our dog is walking, staying by our side, we're going to simply drop the leash. Good boy, heel. Good boy, heel. Come on. Good boy, heel. Now it's just about encouraging him to stay by our side. Sit. I'm making the motion like I'm pulling up on the leash. He's following that body language and responding. Good boy. Stay. Sit. No. Sit. Come on. Come on. Sit. Good boy. He didn't respond the first couple of times I tried pulling up on the leash, so I changed it up a little bit. I called him towards me. As soon as he got up out of the down, I went right into the sit, and he responded. Come. Sit. Good boy. Good boy. You want to have that leash dragging behind just in case he decides, okay, I know I'm free now, I can start taking off. You've got about a 6-foot lead here, so you're going to be able to step on that leash and catch him, hopefully, if you're able to get that close to him. You got some sort of control here. Good boy. And that is the basics of off-leash training. You'll build up from there once you get that consistency build up to the point where you can just take him off leash without having it on, and he's going to stay with you no matter what. Davis has mastered the second stage of obedience in the Canine Good Citizen program: focus and silent command response. We're going to give Davis one more break. When we come back, we're going to move into the third and final stage in the Canine Good Citizen program: distractions and problem solving. I'm so proud of you, Davis. You're doing a great job. And it's playtime. Good boy.